Yes, indeed. As we move with speed, it's another episode of Tough Talks with Dablock and Thili.
Boom.
How y'all doing?
Anyone got that corona? Y'all got that COVID?
Y'all need to be socially responsible and maintain a good distance.
Yeah, Block needs to back about 5 feet up from me.
Bro, I'm trying to get on the microphone.
Take that mic with you.
Then they won't hear you. I'll snap her erasers down here.
I'll yell.
She'll figure that out. Man. Yeah, man. So it looks like I'm going to be here past the 3 o'clock hour because we're running Tough Talks. I might have to answer a phone call. Yeah, we're here again for another episode of Tough Talks. This is episode 40.
Woo, 40, baby.
40. We got Thili in studio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And we are about to give you the... we'll touch base on the episode of Raw we missed. Things happened. People spoke. Other people wrestled.
Beth Phoenix got RKO'd. Crowd didn't know how to react properly.
And that was about it for the Raw of March 2nd.
Anybody who was in that Raw crowd for the Beth Phoenix getting RKO'd episode, shame. Shame on all of you.
Didn't they cheer that shit?
They were like cheering Randy and booing Beth, and like I want you all to know that by booing Beth, you are by extension booing Edge.
And thou shalt not boo Edge.
That is not okay.
Thou shalt not boo the Serrated R superstar.
Yes, Sorry. Exactly.
Thou shalt not boo the Serrated R superstar.
Yeah. That gave us a you heathens.
Speaking
of Lita, real quick, Lita, a.k.a. Miss Amy Dumas, and one Gail Kim have their own wrestling podcast and channel. So, yeah, I was in love with Gail when I was a kid.
ABC News anchor started a wrestling
podcast.
Different Kim.
Yeah.
That's a
different Kim. But yeah, Gail Kim and Amy talking wrestling. I'm down with it. I gotta check that out. I don't know if they put their first episode out. They put a little intro to what the channel is on YouTube, so I can't remember the name right, but do go check that out. Go up Lita, Gail Kim, and it'll come up first. I think it also involves Christy Hemme and someone else too, but I can't remember right now for sure. I do know that those two are 100% in it, though.
Okay, that's dope. And they'll probably include other people in it as they go along.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot like with Edge and Christian, they'll have people come on and do episodes and stuff like that. I would love to hear Edge and Christian do a one-off episode of the Pod of Awesomeness that they used to do. Now that Edge is back, to just talk about that, because Edge so many times over the year and a half that they did that Edge and Christian podcast, was asked so many times in fan emails about the potential of coming back, and the way he was so sure he was never going to be able to is just it's one of those things where I want to hear him talk out of kayfabe about that process of not believing himself that he would ever get to do it again, to the day of showing up at the Rumble.
You think you know me?
We marked the fuck out. I went into stunned silence.
Yo, bro, I was here like, what? No!
Yeah.
No! Oh!
Yeah. I was in stunned silence. My jaw was dropped. I was staring straight at the TV, no movement. I went to the fucking spirit realm for a minute.
I jumped out of my chair, bro.
So nuts.
I jumped out of my chair. I did a left. I did a right. I walked into the open space. Then I walked back to the chair. I sat down. I got back on the line.
Yeah.
Oh! And then I did the fucking...
Yeah, oh yeah.
Thinking that's what it's... And I'm like, are they going to give a pyro? Are they going to give a pyro?
Yeah.
They gave a pyro! Losing my shit, yo.
Edge is the man. Very few people can pop a crowd like a returning Edge.
Oh, man.
Very few people. That might be one of the biggest pops of all time.
Of all time. I don't even think Cena got a pop like that.
Edge didn't even get a pop like that in Canada. They booed him in Canada, and that's when he went heel.
Yep.
Oh, so good. So good. Welcome back, Edge. I love you.
Welcome back, Edge. You know what I mean? Maybe I'll get your signature at some point in time.
I'm going to get it.
I'm like, you know what I mean? That's what's up. I'm getting them to sign that title.
Yeah.
I don't know when the next time they're coming to Toronto is because, like, they have
Edge, Beth, call me. I will babysit for a year for free for an autograph.
I don't know if I'll go that far.
I will.
I'm not sure you want me babysitting your kids. I'll Bernie Mac a motherfucker. I'm joking. They'll probably body slam me.
I was going to say, I think both Ruby and Lyric would take both of us.
Oh, my gosh. You know what I mean? Like, from the knees down, and then just chop us at the knees and then work their way down.
Spear.
Yeah, man. Shit up.
You know they got good spears.
Oh, Lee. All right. Let's get into Raw right now.
Let's do it.
March 9th, as stated on the WWE.com app, WWE.com, where you go for the latest to be in the know.
Yeah, we didn't know it at the time, but this would be the last Raw in front of a live audience for a while.
Yeah.
We don't know how long, but at least this week is going to be in front of nobody at the Performance Center, as was SmackDown last week. And NXT last week, except they had a crowd there for NXT.
Yeah.
And then this week they won't because the not having crowds came in on Thursday.
Yeah.
But yeah, they very interesting times for entertainment and media and stuff.
Oh my gosh, and society in general.
I am very happy that the WWE is continuing to do stuff even with the empty arenas to give people some sort of like there is something to do, like there is stuff to watch. It's trying to keep up with life as normal, which is nice. You know why
they're doing that, right?
Well, they have to do it for sure, but like, what do you mean? Why?
Why? Because they're the longest-running episodic broadcast in history. So if they don't, they break that streak. And
they've had episodes of Raw where they didn't do a live Raw, and still,
they still broadcast it.
They still broadcast it, but they could always broadcast something. But the thing is, like, it's impressive, and it wouldn't. They wouldn't stop being the longest-running broadcast for not having an episode in a week. Because it'd still be the running show. Like
I'm just saying, like, but the show's still running, yes, but it didn't run that week. So by technicality,
well, that would be consecutive running.
Yes,
you'd have to be specific because running, but a show. No, you said longest running. But because the longest, like being longest running show, just means you're running. Like that is a show that you are going through and still going on years later. But it doesn't mean you've done it every week necessarily. Yeah, consecutively, yeah.
Because the longest running show is like the news.
Yeah.
Some shit like that.
Yeah.
Either way, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch addressed Shayna Baszler. Baszler.
Yeah. So apparently, I've heard some rumors that backstage that Vince is not very impressed with Shayna, which is strange to me because Shayna is mighty impressive.
Yeah, Vince picked your boy there, Humberto.
I know. No, trust me. I didn't understand that either. But he also seems to have corrected that quite well with my boy Helga. This was cool. Becky has got that fire in her again, where she is very much passionate about the promo she's cutting. She seems legitimately excited for their match. We don't know when or where that will happen now. Because
been postponed.
Mania is not happening in 3 weeks. But we will see what that ends up being.
Didn't they say like a June?
It might be June, July. It might be canceled outright.
Wow.
Yeah. Would be the first year without a Mania in 36 years.
Yikes. I don't think they're going to want to do that.
Who knows, man?
Vince's pride, bro?
It's hard to find a city where you can run it right now. But yeah, I mean, postponing it seems to be the best option overall. But yeah, we will see where that goes. But regardless, we're going to get a match between Shayna Baszler and Becky Lynch. We just don't know what that'll entail to get to it. But this feud's great. This feud's really good so far.
Definitely.
Other than the time they tried to turn Shayna into a vampire for a week.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was not a good look.
All right. Well, speaking of your other boy, Rey Mysterio defeats Angel Garza, if I'm going to say it in the North American
as a white person.
Angel Garza.
Angel Garza is the man. I love that dude. They gave him the ultimate Mexican or Mexicant test and put him in a match against Rey Mysterio.
Oh my gosh,
and it turns out he Mexican. That boy killed it. That was a great match. Those two put on a hell of a show. And I would argue as good as the first of the matches between Rey and Andrade. And I would love to see a triple threat between those three.
Andrade, Angel, and Mysterio?
Yeah, it would involve obviously breaking up the Angel and Andrade team, but I think you could do that because I don't want to say this out loud because I don't actually want it to happen.
You already said that.
But
you mentioned the breaking up of the team, so you might as well go down the road.
I know. I don't want this to happen, but a way that I could see being pretty cool and happening and what would make sense is Angel stealing the managerial services of Zelina Vega from Andrade.
So you're saying
Andrade goes kind of face.
This is like the
tweener.
The Mexican superpowers here.
Yeah, sort of.
Latin superpowers
Sort of. Other than the fact there's no love interest in this scenario. Yeah, absolutely. Like very much a thing where Angel, you make it clear that Angel sees how effective and useful it is to have a Zelina Vega in your corner. And Andrade, through all of the winning that he's been doing with the help of Zelina, kind of starts taking that for granted. And so, she takes on Angel as her client, and they kind of backstab Andrade. And I think that would be an amazing feud. And I mean, you could even have it where the triple threat match looks like it's kind of a handicap match in disguise, but then Angel and Zelina screw Andrade within the match and have that be the impetus for it. Because then you move on from the Rey Mysterio aspect of that feud and you have Andrade versus Angel, and then Mysterio works into a new feud. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You motherfuckers do that in Albuquerque or don't do it at all.
You know what I mean? Do it in Albuquerque.
But I loved this match. I love Angel Garza. I love Rey Mysterio. I think this is, like I said, all of this is like match made in heaven type shit.
Okay. NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley confronted Charlotte Flair.
My other girl. I love them both. Again, you couldn't have put two people I'm more excited to be in a feud with each other.
Could have found a better JPEG.
Yeah. Because Rhea, when she first showed up in WWE the very first time before she signed, and she was just in the Mae Young Classic, she was essentially a Charlotte Flair junior. Like, she was just a copycat type thing. They
said that in her video package,
yeah. And Triple H had told her, you gotta set yourself apart. And she left, and she did just that. And she came back the next year with this amazing, the shaved sides and shorter hair and the fucking leather and the badass attitude, and just took the game over. So her versus Charlotte is poetic, and iconic for this. Yeah. Another one where we don't know where that match or when that match is going to happen now, but that match is going to happen. Like, that match is definitely going to happen. And from what I've heard, the plan is for Charlotte to kind of hang around in NXT. Like, that she's going to be moving down to it. Or across to it. Force of habit, I don't see it as a downward move either way, because I think it's the best 2 hours of wrestling on TV every single week. But it is the difference is minorly there, at least in the is Vince Kennedy McMahon.
Because Vince ain't put anything on his pedestal with him.
No.
That being said, Bobby Lashley defeats Zack Ryder.
Sure did.
Yep, that's pretty much
sure did. I mean, anytime you and that's not even a thing with just it being Bobby Lashley. Yeah. If it had been anyone, that's what it would have been.
Doing a podcast right now. What's up?
Like, it would have absolutely been that regardless of what was going on, because Zack Ryder is a jobber machine. And that's all they do. We gon' vamp, we gon' vamp, we gon' vamp, and Block is off the phone.
Yeah, sorry, I just got a call. I had to do that quick. All right. Now, this was an interesting match. Drew McIntyre defeats Eric Rowan.
Yeah! This was weird. I don't know what the point of this was, other than how they're pushing, obviously you're going to push Drew McIntyre to the moon because he's Drew fucking McIntyre, and the man is the most manly man I've ever seen be a man. But the decision. I mean, I guess I do actually understand. Okay, I do understand it. This is something we didn't talk about because it happened on the previous week's Raw. I have been begging for months on this podcast to see what's in the cage.
Yep.
What's in the cage?
Yep.
A toy spider that doesn't even kind of look real.
Or move
What
it
the
on.
fuck? It did move. That was the problem. It was an animatronic toy spider where the legs just kind of went like this.
Oh.
It can't move on its own, but the arms move by a motor that's inside it, but he has to hold it and do this. And the fact, so not only did it kind of bury Rowan by having that amazing mystery they had going, basically they did exactly what I said they would probably do. Not what I wanted them to do, but what I said they'd probably do, which was they fucking hornswoggled it.
I'm wearing a green hat for
St. Patty's Day.
For those of you who aren't.
I'm offended. The cultural appropriation going on right now is wild. But
hey man, y'all gotta tell them to market your holiday better then.
So not only do you bury him by having that be the payoff to this beautiful mystery, but then you bury even further, as if he wasn't already buried. But you bury No Way Jose because he's legitimately scared of the toy. Him and the whole conga line screamed and ran away.
Yeah, that was cowardice. No,
that was fools. But then the next week you have Eric come out, get squashed, then get his toy spider murdered in its cage by Drew by jumping on it and stepping on it, thus probably killing that whole storyline entirely.
hopefully.
We're not going to see that goddamn cage again. And if we do, it better be something cool in it next time. But we ain't going to see that cage again. Eric's never going to mention any of this again other than maybe he's going to fight fucking Drew a couple more times and get his ass whooped every time.
Yep.
But, yeah, this was the strange couple weeks for my boy Eric Rowan and his toy spider. They deserved better.
Yeah. It was quite the.
And by better, I mean not being a toy spider.
It was quite the odd situation. They could have even made a snake or something.
They could have just had a real snake.
You know what I mean? Anyways.
Make Eric Jake Snake 2.0. He's on AEW now. Steal his gimmick.
Jake's on AEW?
Yeah, he's managing Austin Theory.
Austin Theory?
No, that guy's
Austin
no,
Theory's
he's in
on
NXT. Oh, fuck, what's that?
Austin Aries?
No, it's not Austin Aries.
Okay.
Someone who kind of looks like Austin Theory's fucking generic brother.
Okay.
I can't remember who it is, but.
All right. Well, we'll move on to what we do know. The WWE Women's Tag Team Champions, the Kabuki Warriors, defeat Natalya and Liv Morgan.
Surprise, surprise. A team of people who don't show any sort of cohesiveness or friendliness didn't win the titles on their first match together. I was thinking about this earlier because when I watched SmackDown this week, and we'll get to that part later, but I think that the women's tag team titles were a mistake.
I don't think they were a mistake. I think they're doing with the women's tag team titles what they did with the women for so long.
Yeah.
Mishandling them.
They don't, and that's what I mean though, is that without the depth of roster for viable tag team competitors, right, in the women's division, while still having like the women's titles and having women be on specific shows and not having a plan for how they're going to run that. I think starting it at all without that plan in place was a massive mistake, because as of this week, those women's tag team titles at this point mean nothing to me. They have no legacy to them. They have no sort of pastiche to it. Like, the next people who are going to win them is going to be fucking Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross again.
It wouldn't surprise me.
That's what's going to happen. They're feuding with them right now for it. Like, they haven't matched with them yet, but they keep fucking, like, trying to call them out on SmackDown, and then they showed up on SmackDown at the Performance Center and said, oh, they only ever show up on Raw. We're going to have to go there at some point and get it from them. Blah, 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 blah. Like, they're going to do it again. That's what it seems like anyways. They might not, but the likelihood right now, the WWE math would state, they're going to put those belts back on Nikki and Alexa.
Well, it's not like they haven't
And then
put them on right now.
Which is why it's
Which
is the problem.
They could have teams established. They're just not.
They're not ready to do that though, because they don't have a solid plan overall, other than the feuds that they have people in right now. They don't, and once those feuds are over, those people become technically possibilities for that tag division, right? But at that point, it's then thrown together teams again. And I'm like,
are those teams not thrown together based on those individual feuds, though?
What do you mean?
Sometimes, like, okay, so Asuka beefs with Natalia, or Natalia beefs with Asuka.
Yeah.
Then Kairi Sane beefs with Liv Morgan. They throw it. That's not the situation that happened, but could that not? Be a way?
That could be a way, but then you also get that thing of where throwing two singles competitors together against an established tag team, and there's they have shown that they very rarely have a plan to keep those thrown together tag teams together to let them get cohesive. I think what they need to do is find female talent either within the roster or that they from outside that they need to bring in, right? That want to focus on tag team wrestling. Like, who are the best tag teams in the men's division? And by extension, the entire business, because that's how it is right now.
Usos, the New Day,
Top guys,
Gallows and Anderson. I'm not even gonna say Miz and Morrison, but technically they are the top. They are
Miz and Morrison.
Miz and Morrison. Who else?
We got Viking Raiders. We got AOP.
Street Profits.
We got Street Profits. Like, these are the top tag teams. That's the top 9 tag teams in the world right now, basically, other than the Young Bucks. And let's throw in AEW tag teams. We got the Young Bucks. We've got SoCal Uncensored. We've got Pentagon Jr. and
that other guy.
I can't remember his name right now, but you know who I mean. The mask, the other mask, like the dark fucking mask. But like, we have all these people, right?
Yeah.
All of those best tag teams have one thing in common.
They've been working. Oh fuck, we forgot to mention. You got to mention Undisputed Era.
Undisputed Era, of course. Jesus Christ,
How
like
did we forget that.
And then more on NXT, Forgotten Sons. We have the grizzled young veterans. The Broserweights are the champions right now, but they're not. They're thrown together tag team. But they have focused on that now, and they have a joint entrance with a customized video like a Titantron entrance package that is specifically Broserweights, Stallions, and like all this shit that is not either of their individual stuff, but is a perfect amalgamation of it, right? Yeah. They have become a cohesive tag team. Yeah. On the women's, so that's like 13 that we came up with of the best tag teams, and all of them are cohesive.
Now you're gonna make me answer the question.
And then
which women's tag team?
Yeah.
All right, we got Tamina and Nia.
Since when?
They were a tag team.
But when's the last time we've seen any of them?
Okay, you mean currently?
I'm just talking about like what's doing.
Okay, well then, sorry girls.
Ones that are viable for competition at the moment.
Competition at the moment, you have, and they haven't even competed in the longest time. The Iconics.
Yeah. Where are they?
They're.
She's done her honeymoon. Peyton's done her honeymoon. Her and Ty Dillinger, aka Sean Spears, local boy, St. Catharines boy. Shout out. What's good?
Shout out.
Done good. Peyton Royce is delicious, but like they
I have the WWE Supercard.
Yeah, but like they ain't been around a hot minute. They are, in my opinion, they are the number one cohesive.
Alexa and Nikki.
Yep. Also, still only come out to Alexa's music and Titantron. Haven't even made a joint entrance for them yet.
That sounds like a they problem, though, bro.
But that is the problem. But the only people who the problem matters for is if it's a they problem, because that is a WWE problem. Like, WWE are the ones who need to be doing this. And they're not. Like, they're not building women's tag teams up at all. And tag team wrestling and singles wrestling are very different beasts within their psychology, within the way that you build a match, the way you build drama through hot tags and double teams and heel work, and utilizing the specific rules of tag team wrestling of having to hold on to the tag rope, and like the drama that can happen if the ref sees that the tag rope has not been held during a hot tag, and all of a sudden that person gets pushed back, and while he's pushing the good guys back, the heels are beating the shit out of the person in the corner again and double teaming them. Like, all this stuff is a very different psychology than singles wrestling. And they don't have any. They have like 3 teams in the women's division that can do that, and maybe the number 2 or 3, one of those, don't even have a team entrance or music yet, despite being together for over a year.
Natalia's gonna have to pick a partner. She's gonna have to.
And that's poor Natalia is just getting fucking tossed around. Doesn't get any good single shit anymore. Just gets to do random Lacey Evans tag team.
Lacey Evans and Natalia might make it. Well,
they would be a good tag team if they let them get together and focus.
Yeah. Lacey Evans had Sasha and Bailey, they were still a still a tag team.
Yeah, and they like on SmackDown this week, they came out to Sasha's theme entirely, just Sasha's theme, with Snoop Dogg talking about Sasha, while Bailey's walking behind her with the title and not getting any shine. Like, it's very strange the way that they were like, oh, we'll make these new titles, and it does beg the question of, well, is that just another toy belt for them to sell, and this time to girls? Like,
probably.
You know what I mean? Like, it comes across it's crass, and it's not like, it's not looking for the bright side of it at all, but it is one of those things where it's like, God damn it, guys, like, you're not making me believe that you actually have plans to do something cool with these titles other than package them and sell them out. Like, so I want more for the women in this industry.
Well, to give it some more context, it's only been a year and a half, right?
That's a long time to have titles that are doing nothing.
They
could have just built them.
They have going on, with as many things that they have going on, it might not be. It's probably not their. It's definitely not even say probably. It's definitely not their primary focus.
Yeah.
But for all we know, they could be building behind the scenes, because like between the Mae Young Classics and like the women's competitions that they have. Like, if they were utilizing those women to build up, like, I think each brand should have at least 5 tag teams, 5 female tag teams, if you're gonna battle across the brands, right?
Yeah.
And like,
because there should always be like a number 1 contender on each brand, almost that the champs have to face.
Exactly. So like to put it in perspective, what they're doing right now sucks and needs work. Well, that's why we have tough talks with Thili and Dablock.
Yeah, the only thing I have with that is like, man, like, how fucking long am I supposed to give a multi-billion-dollar multinational company full of creative people with nothing but time to think about the creative of their business?
Well, how long have those creatives been there? Sometimes you stagnate.
They fire them every few months. Like, Vince fires writers like nothing.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, Vince tore up the entire script for Raw backstage 2 hours before the live broadcast started.
Wow, he must have a stenographer on
He's
hand.
crazy.
Sure.
I love Vince, but he's crazy. He's losing his mind.
Yeah, it could be all those steroids.
He needs to just drop those reins and go take care of the XFL. Let Triple H do it. Let Triple H take care of
He's
the
doing
baby.
a bang-up job on NXT.
No, he's killing it.
And Shawn Michaels is killing on UK.
And he could do it on the main roster too. Like he could do it with Raw and SmackDown. He
But
could.
Vince
He
doesn't
really
want him
could.
to do it yet.
I know, because
Vince
Vince.
is holding on to his baby.
I
He's like, I
know.
already gave you my daughter. You're not taking the one I love.
I know. That's just true. WWE is the one he loves.
The one he
Is
loves.
the one kid that he does love.
You know
But
what I mean?
like, but at the same time, it's like Vince. If you love your baby, you gotta let your baby be dope again.
Yeah, let your baby go, and it'll come back eventually. You know what I mean? Even
It's still your baby. You're never losing credit for the WWF. You know how many motherfuckers don't know there's a Vince McMahon Sr. that started this shit?
a lot.
A lot.
But since we just took a wicked tangent from Raw,
Yeah, sorry.
deservedly so, let's talk about AJ Styles challenging The Undertaker to a WrestleMania match.
Yeah. Another when and if situation, or when and where situation. I love it. I love that. I loved his very heel excuses of like, oh, I wasn't ready for Undertaker. I was ready for Rey Mysterio, and like, as the purple lights got in my eyes, and like, all this shit. Great work from AJ. He then did some very wonderful heel work, calling out Taker's wife, Michelle McCool, really digging in on breaking kayfabe, which I liked. That is how you break kayfabe, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. He didn't break kayfabe in a sense where he was like, oh, we all know this is scripted and blah, 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 blah. What he did was he went after Undertaker's wife, Michelle McCool, and said, oh, that's right, you don't even know that? Undertaker is married to Michelle McCool. And then he called Undertaker by his government name.
Mark Calloway.
Mark Calloway. He said Mark Calloway. That he's not the Undertaker anymore. I don't see the Undertaker. I see Mark Calloway. So good. Oh, so good. Such good work. AJ Styles is the truth. Always has been, always will be. I think AJ Styles is going to fucking retire the Undertaker at WrestleMania. And I think that is fucking perfect and kind of poetic.
You think AJ's the phenomenal one just taking on the Phenom?
That too. But the fact that AJ is the new Shawn Michaels. AJ's the new Shawn. He's just the best in the ring. Like, he's just the best. You put him in there with anybody, it's a 5-star match.
He's good.
He is AJ Styles level good.
Well, that explains it.
How's it going?
Birdman's in there. How you doing?
What's up, brother?
Just
Thili.
been greeted by Zach Burry.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Have you guys met before?
I don't think so.
This is Thili, Chum Gang.
Oh yeah,
Zach Burry.
he's the wrestling guy, right?
Yeah, that's what we're doing.
The podcast right now, yeah.
Cool.
You bleep?
Yeah, man, going in there. So yeah.
Yeah, like that is from Taker himself. Taker has said that AJ's the new Shawn.
Oh yeah, on the Broken Skull session.
Yeah, he said AJ Styles. He's the new Shawn Michaels, and that's what he told Vince. He said to Vince, AJ Styles is the new Shawn Michaels. He is my opponent at WrestleMania. Like, he is who I want to do a program with.
He wants to be against the best.
Yeah, and I think if he sees him as the new Shawn Michaels, who better to retire The Undertaker than the new embodiment of the man The Undertaker retired?
This is true. Poetic. It would be poetic in turn.
And who better to carry 75-million-year-old Undertaker
75
to a presentable match?
Oh man, the fact that you probably get throw punched in person, if that was, I don't care how old he is, that motherfucker can throw hands.
Oh yeah.
Beast, so.
Oh yeah. No, he'd kill me.
Yeah, for sure. Me, I wouldn't even want to take none of those.
Yeah, no, he would kill me for sure.
I'm not even trying to take a punch right now.
Yeah, no.
Well, if I have to, but if I don't have to, fuck that noise.
I'm 5'11". That boy will kill me. But I'm gonna say what it is, and that is that man ain't had a presentable match in 2.5 years.
Well, let's see. Let's see what turns out in the next in the quote unquote WrestleMania match when and or if it happens.
I'll tell you one thing. AJ ain't gonna do. AJ ain't gonna drop Taker on his head during a jackhammer.
Can AJ even lift Taker?
Oh, I'm sure he can. He's a strong boy. That dude can lift motherfuckers. He probably won't. He shouldn't in the match because that shouldn't be something that he is as this heel character doing. Like, he shouldn't be that strong. AJ as a heel is very much I'm gonna have my boys here and I'm gonna use shady tactics where I can type of dude. But it is something where, I mean, you know, anyone can lift a motherfucker up for a what's it called, like a German or any of that stuff. My point is, Undertaker ain't gonna get split open and concussed severely by some fuck who doesn't know what he's doing anymore. Bill.
Oh shit. You know what? The only problem I have with you throwing shots at people is in my world, I swear there's a possibility of crossing paths with these individuals. You know what I mean? So, next thing you know, we're in Toronto at a fucking, you know what I mean, at a WWE event. It's like, remember that episode where you said,
I want to have that Matt Riddle backstage meeting Goldberg experience of, okay, bro, I'm not your bro. Okay, whatever you say, bro. We'll talk later, bro.
Oh, man.
Suck a dick, Bill.
24/7 champion Riddick Moss defeats Cedric Alexander.
That was for my boy Dre. What is going on with Riddick with Middick Ross? Middick Ross is just bodying motherfuckers week after week in like 5 seconds out of nowhere.
And his finisher.
I can't remember what that finisher was.
It's like a neck breaker while he drives.
Oh yeah, that was dope actually. How'd he get fire in like a week?
Call that the Moss Bank, yo.
Yeah, how'd he get fire in a week?
I don't know.
Because he was whacked 2 weeks ago, wasn't he?
Call that the Moss Bank.
Wasn't he whacked 2 weeks ago?
Man.
Wasn't he nobody?
He was nobody.
What's going on?
He was. Where the fuck is the guy that brought him in? What's his name?
Who's this dude walking behind Mojo?
Where the fuck is Mojo?
Oh well, Mojo. We'll talk about Mojo on SmackDown because that was great.
Oh man,
Mojo was awesome on SmackDown. Mojo won me back.
Oh man. All right, that's Cedric Alexander versus.
Yeah, that is what it was. But holy shit.
Edge brawled with Randy Orton and attacked MVP. Is that the RKO from Edge to Randy Orton?
Yeah, it is.
Deal with it.
Yeah. MVP took a serious spear because he was talking wild, as MVP is one to do.
Yep.
He was talking wild, got speared, as again he is one to do.
Yep.
Randy came out of nowhere, tried to hit Edge with that RKO out of nowhere. Edge pushed him back, and then as Randy turned back to Edge, he just and hit Randy with the RKO out of nowhere.
Wow.
It was nice. He did it fairly well. It wasn't like the best RKO ever, but it was damn satisfying.
Oh.
And yeah, that was some good shit. That was a good way to end this. And this crowd was tight. They knew what was going on. They absolutely popped for that, and they were, and then Edge was looking like a madman. Edge was a man possessed on Monday. Yep. He was furious, fire in the eyes, mad.
Just threw off ready to go.
The look in the fucking eyes, man. He was murderous. I loved it.
He looked like the Viking mode. He was
in Vikings mode. Yeah. He's like, I may not be on that show, may be over, but I'm still gonna fucking come and rape and pillage this motherfucker's life.
Yep. Aleister Black defeats Seth Rollins via disqualification.
Yeah, this was, this was what it was. Seth and what's my man's name? Murphy. Him and Buddy Murphy tried to recruit Aleister Black. Because as we all know, Aleister Black is a follower and likes to do things the way that other people like to do things and doesn't like to be an individual.
And he wants to do what he's told to do.
Yeah, that is what Aleister Black loves.
If you can't tell sarcasm by now, you listen to the wrong
So he threw the shirt back in their faces, and Seth got all pissy and gave his little... I'm only going to say this once. Either you're with me or against me. And Aleister said, thanks for knocking on my door.
I accept.
I accept. It's like, motherfucker, I didn't... yes, you did. So let's go. And yeah, they went... it was, great match. Those two boys are cardio freaks, for sure. Mm-hmm. And yeah, they put on a hell of a match. It was fun. DQ finish. I'm rarely a huge fan of DQ finishes. I won't say never, because sometimes a DQ is totally warranted and makes sense and is awesome. But this one was just a thing of like, well, we don't want Seth to
lose face.
to take a legitimate loss, and we don't want Aleister to eat a legitimate loss either. So we'll have him get beat up and DQ'd. And Kevin came out to save Aleister, got attacked, got curb stomped like 6 fucking times. And then the show ended on the image of Kevin on the ground.
After Seth Rollins, Murphy, and AOP defeated Raw Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits, and the Viking Raiders.
Yeah, I forgot about that shit too. That was...
Yeah, we could just finish it off like that.
Sorry, that's where that happened. That's where Kevin came out, was at the end of that, and got bodied. That was just another one of those things where it's like, oh hey, 8-man tag.
Yeah.
Hey,
look, there's 2 of you.
Yeah. Well, hey, there's 2 of us. Oh, 8-man tag. Like, it's just it was slightly lazy writing, but led to a satisfying conclusion for sure.
All right, let's do this.
Best 2 hours of wrestling every single week. Crowd or not. Guarantee next week, even without a crowd, they go fire. Because with the crowd, they went all through the performance center this week. You see this? See that Johnny Gargano jump brawl throughout the performance center? Through that window? Off the thing on the top? The thing where Moro does his intro?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the image of it right here.
Yeah. Oh, so good. Oh, so good.
Undisputed Eric don't know
Grizzled Veterans came out.
Oh, that's not the first one. No, that's not the first one. Come on, let the video. Package
In the background, you're hearing the dulcet tones of Bread and DK Lonely. My boy.
Let's put down some heat.
Choom Gang. All day.
Oh, man, alright. We have NXT North American.
Yeah.
Oh. Cameron Grimes.
It's so interesting. In this glory. Don't you get about Keith. No. Keith is amazing. We all Keith. Me and everyone who listens are massive Keith Lee marks. We love that boy since way before they put a belt on that boy. We've been singing. We have been basking in that boy's glory since before there was glory to bask in. And god damn it, he's killing it. This was a very interesting match. He kind of beat the living shit out of Cameron Grimes. One thing I will say too, after watching like last week's and this week's episodes of NXT back to back, sorta, god damn it, that crowd does not like Cameron Grimes. Ain't nobody like Cameron Grimes.
I don't even know who he is personally.
Cameron Grimes, that dude who was squashing motherfuckers week after week for a while with running out of the corner and double stomping their chests and then throwing his cowboy hat back on and walking out. Yep. He was killing it for a while. Nobody likes him. I don't know if he said something on social media that pissed people off or if this is good heel heat or if this is old 99 X-Pac go away heat. Oh. I don't know what this is, but it's strange, because the crowd last week was actively chanting, "Nobody likes you, go away, boo." No. I'm like, what the fuck is this? This ain't normal. This is not normal shit. And then, he got the living shit kicked out of him by Keith. And then our other boy, Damian Priest, fucking showed up from behind and Billy clubbed Keith Lee's shoulder real hard.
Oh, man.
And then causing the disqualification win for Keith. Then Dominic, while Keith was on the ground, and I don't know if he had even seen who attacked him yet, Dominic Dijakovic came out and, dispatched of Damian Priest.
Yeah.
But when he did that, Keith Lee got up. He helped Keith Lee up, handed Keith the belt, and Keith fucking gave him a spirit bomb and walked out on him. And I'm like, that boy just saved your life.
Damn.
So, we're getting, teases of heel Keith. We're getting teases of super baby face fucking Dominic. We're getting uber heel conniving Damian Priest.
And then we got
very interesting story. And then nobody likes you. Go away, Cameron Grimes. I don't understand. What a weird division.
What a fuck.
The North American title scene is fucked.
Well, that's the thing. That's one thing Triple H has always been good at. Fucking with your
mind. Yeah, and I love it. This is exactly what I'm talking about. It's the best 2 hours of wrestling every week, and Vinnie Mac needs to give his baby again to Triple H. Again. Give both of his babies.
Speaking of babies, Mia Yim, who is Keith Lee's baby.
Triple H should start dating Shane too, just so he takes all 3 of his kids.
Defeated Dakota Kai to qualify for the NXT Women's Championship #1 contenders ladder match at, I was gonna say Takeover Tampa, but that's been postponed.
Head baddie in charge. Head baddie in charge. Mia Yim.
She do it.
My girl. She took on not just Dakota Kai, but that monster of a woman.
Raquel Gonzalez.
Woo! Raquel Gonzalez is a savage. And I will say this.
She's like a China. She's like a Latin China.
Almost. So I was going to say, except stunning.
Just
she's gorgeous.
Sorry for all you China fans, but
but if you didn't,
you can't put China beside.
No, you can't. If you didn't see how tall and jacked she was, if you just got a mugshot of that girl, you'd be like, God damn, that's a pretty girl.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, it zooms out a bit and shows your shoulders. Ooh, she jacked.
She stands broader than I do.
I'm like, yo, that girl got linebacker shoulders. Holy shit! And then all of a sudden, it backs up more. I'm like, but she got a damn good body. She really good looking again. And then you see how tall she is. It's like, oh, bitch, you scary. She's the definition of a fear boner. Living embodiment, walking around, fear boner.
Oh, man, she's an Amazonian for real.
Madness. I'm in love with Raquel Gonzalez.
Oh, my goodness.
Holy shit.
My wife injured has my eye, but she pointed it out, too. She
was
my God damn.
God.
She's a big woman.
Big. That is, different. I know BBW don't normally mean that, but she is that. She is that. In the most technical, she is big, she is beautiful, and she is goddamn like a woman. Holy shit.
Yeah, man, she's holding it down, you know what
I mean? I want her to get a really good singles push after this Dakota Kai mess is over.
Could you imagine her
oh my god, she's dominating. She's going to dominate on the NXT scene for a year. She's going to be the champ for a year straight.
At least.
I think she might beat Baszler's record for just straight being basically top bitch for a year and a half. She is going to be that cuz she is scary. But
definitely.
Damn good. She has got star power written all over her too. If people get behind her like they should, she's a problem for any other female talent looking to get shine.
For real. That's
100%.
All right. Kushida defeats Raul Mendoza.
Yeah, I don't know who Raul Mendoza is, but this was a good match. Short, very short, but very cool, technical. The transitions for Kushida, always there. He got him in that hoverboard lock. Kushida, to this day, I will always say this. Marty McFly is the best gimmick in the business. The fact that a Japanese dude decided when they asked him, so what do you want to be? He was like, Marty McFly. That's dope.
He's like, yeah. That character, they made that character work.
Oh yeah, he kills it.
Charlotte Flair confronted NXT Women's Champion Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, this was cool. This put them on real equal footing. which they already have been because they've been going back and forth with each other, like where one stands tall, then the other stands tall, then one stands tall, right? Mm-hmm. But this week, neither of them stood tall. They both kind of fucked each other up. And the payoff, like the end of it, was just being able to see them staring at each other from like halfway up that ramp, and the rings of the ropes closest to the ramp, like staring each other down, really looking like they had taken a good little beating, but still like being like ready to fuck each other up. Those two are going to put on a banger of a match. Like I've said it already today, but it is that there's no way around that. That is going to be a fucking banger of a match.
All right. Tegan Nox defeats Deonna Purrazzo to qualify for the NXT Women's Championship #1 contenders ladder match at TakeOver.
Long ass title.
Holy shit.
But I am very excited for that ladder match.
Mm-hmm.
So far, I'm very happy with the people who've got in. I love me some Mia Yim. I love me some Tegan Nox. I because they were a tag team for so long and they're both shiny, I still get her and Dakota mixed up in my head, like name wise.
Okay.
And they were so intertwined after it till literally last week when they had that cage match, which was a great cage match. Yeah, Tegan's great. I think she's very cool. I think she's another one who's very sellable to the public because she seems very sweet. She's got that look to her, like very girl next door-ish, innocent. Yeah, but then she also can really put it on in the ring. The one criticism I have about Tegan is, my God, does her ground and pound look like shit? Like when she jumps on downed opponent on their back and starts like doing her punches, they are never ever good punches. She kind of just like goes like this and lightly taps them each time. There's no she hasn't quite mastered the false contact of it all. But I think that just comes with time, and she's still very young. So she's going to be very good. I think she just needs a little bit more polish, and she will be another potential megastar for that division.
All right. Speaking of megastars, the Velveteen Dream addressed NXT champion Adam Cole.
So, this is going to be awesome. I think we're on the verge. And
of a Velveteen Dream title run.
That doesn't pain me to say.
Okay.
I love Velveteen Dream. I've loved Velveteen Dream since he was Patrick Clark Experience.
Wow.
I have been following him for a while, and I really enjoy Mr. Velveteen Dream, Prince Jr. He is a killer, and so talented, so charismatic. All of this. What kills me to say is I think we are coming up on the Undisputed Era's move to the main roster. Or to, once again, air quotes, big air quotes, main roster. I think I'm torn because I think the main roster needs them. Like, I think they desperately need
where do they land?
The Undisputed Era.
Where do they land? Do they land on Raw? Do they land on SmackDown?
I think for a couple weeks, nobody knows. The way I would book it, and once again, I mean, the way I would book it would be I'd keep him in NXT. But the way that if I was a writer for Vince, right, and I had to write them going up to main roster, my inkling would be Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish attack somebody on Raw. Adam Cole and Roddy Strong attack somebody on SmackDown, and you do that alternating for a couple weeks. Like, the next week it's Fish. Well, no, the next week it's like Fish and Roderick coming out on Raw, and O'Reilly and Cole coming out on SmackDown, and then it's Cole and not even Fish. You switch it each time. Like, you switch the first one was.
You didn't say Cole and Fish was the last one?
Yeah.
Cole and Strong, Cole and Fish, and it would be Cole and
O'Reilly, yeah. Sorry, that's what I meant. I might have misheard. Yeah, Cole and O'Reilly. You just switch it up each week. You switch up the teams, and you have them go everywhere, and so that and you do that so that it's a thing of like, well, maybe these two are on this one, and these. Well, no, because it wasn't those two even together last week. It was him and anywhere you can create a little bit of confusion within that, you create it until like a pay-per-view where they really do some damage kind of thing on somebody, and that who they do damage on is decided by if you're putting them on Raw or if you're putting them on SmackDown. Like if you're putting them on SmackDown, you have them attack John Cena or Roman Reigns, or like Roman Reigns would be great if they attacked Roman. That would be an awesome story. I think that would be one of those stories where you can really build Roman correctly, like in a way that the people who aren't just like the casual watchers enjoy him as well. But that is an uphill battle, because then you have to get people to boo Adam Cole over booing Roman Reigns, which is going to be a very hard sell. Very hard sell to get people to agree with that. But yeah, I think this, to get back on track, I think this is leading to Patrick Clark experience Velveteen Dream first ever NXT title run, which will be amazing.
He'd be the first man of color to hold a title in there too, wouldn't he? But not that title, to hold that title. People is the first NXT North American champion.
I'm trying to think. Samoa Joe is Samoan. I mean, if you're talking specifically black, then yes.
Okay. Well, yeah.
But person
of color
means covers Mexicans, covers everything. Because Samoa Joe was champion twice. Shinsuke Nakamura was champion twice. They're both people of color, technically.
You can't see me squinting right now.
Samoans are people of color. Japanese people are people of color.
Still squinting.
Yellow and tan are colors.
Squinting even harder.
Squinting intensifies. But like, yeah. So like, if first black dude to hold it, yeah, I think he would be. I tried to just run through the list of previous champions in my head, and I mean, Finn's the longest. Irish people are color. No,
I'm sorry.
That color is clear. Yeah, it is. Yeah, thank you very much. It is pale and freckled. I'm a redskin as much as an Indian. Canceled. I am canceled. I get it. This one ain't for me. But yeah, no, I think he's gonna be an amazing champ. I think you can do incredible things with Weirdo of a team as champ. The number of people he is going to airbrush onto those tights.
Oh man.
And last week was hilarious. Was in that cage match between Velveteen and Roddy. I don't know why I'm so stupid. We heard Velveteen mention Roddy's wife over the past month, right? And Maria and his son's name, coming home and showing what a real man is, and blah blah blah, all this stuff, right? Being very heelish for somebody who's supposed to be the face in the rivalry. But regardless, I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, I think I've only ever heard of like two people being named Marina, and I was like, and now there's a third. How interesting. No, he ain't. Roderick Strong's married to Maria Shafir. He's married to Maria Shafir from the fucking Horsewomen of MMA, dog. Like, I was like, and I didn't know it. And I did put it together until Marina Shafir showed up beside the cage and slid a fucking kendo stick into her man.
Oh, man.
I was not ready for that revelation to hit me. I'm stoned out of my mind. It hit me hard. I was laughing to myself so bad. I was like, Tyson, you are fucking stupid. How did you not figure that out? He even had a caricature on her pants. You should have been able to figure this Marina Shafir. I did not. I am dumb. I did. Right over that bong mouthpiece and ripped another one. But yeah, Velveteen, he's going to be the champion. He's going to be.
NXT Tag Team Champions, the Bruiserweights, defeat the Undisputed Era.
So, again, I mixed up parts of the show a little bit, but this is where, at the end of this match, Was it Grizzled Young Veterans who came out? I think it was. Yeah, it was, because it wasn't Oni and Lorcan.
Successfully tried to get involved, instead getting popped in the face by Dunn while Riddle sent Bobby Fish toppling over the top rope into them.
Yeah. They definitely got hit, but they did also do enough to prevent the boys from getting their titles back from the Bruiserweights. Or Broserweights, sorry. Yeah, good match. Great match. I'm excited for the inevitable triple threat tag team title match between the Grizzled Young Veterans, the Undisputed Era, and the Broserweights. I hope that ends with the Broserweights winning, but it also wouldn't surprise me with how much Trips loves the Undisputed Era boys if they're just like, just give them one more. Let's just make sure that record doesn't get broke for them. Let's make sure they hold that for a few years.
Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano brawl throughout the Performance Center.
Segment of the fucking year. Oh, sorry. Segment of the year. This was fucking awesome. We saw probably more... we probably saw more of the Performance Center than we ever have in this segment. It was so cool. We saw their little meeting room in the back where Johnny was Skyping in to the Titantron to ask why the fuck has everyone all of a sudden just forgiven Tommaso Ciampa, which is a good point. Saying he doesn't remember an apology coming out of Ciampa to get the NXT Universe's love back, another good point. The fact that Tommaso did horrific things to Johnny and his family, another good point. But Johnny's the heel. He's the bad guy because, we all love Psycho Killer. Which, once again, Psycho Killer. I will say that name a third time. Psycho Killer is the face in the suit. It's kind of strange. But it seems like Johnny has just kind of gone... He's lost it. He's lost it with the back and forth, the crowd, and who they decide to cheer. It's kind of reminiscent of part in '96 to me. 96 and 97, and most of '97 as well. Where he's been the perennial good guy, right? He's Johnny Wrestling. He's the best as the best there ever will be, type shit. He's the heart and soul of NXT type stuff. But
oh shit, no, you're not home. No, sorry. Hello. Good.
We're gonna listen to this.
Yes, hi.
But very reminiscent of a Bret Hart scenario for me, where he's disillusioned with the crowd because they've moved on to a more cool and badass and rebellious style rather than the good guy. The perennial nice guy who always does the right thing by his fans and by himself. So it's very, very strange to see it all coming back. But yeah.
I'll be on here for like another 15 minutes, half an hour. Yeah. Okay. Alright, cool. No, I appreciate it. Yeah. So, if you want to come in, that's fine. I'll be on the podcast. But if you got to go before I finish, then I understand. Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right. So I don't know. Well, I'll let you know when I'm done. But I gotta wrap this up. All right. All right. Cool. Sounds good. Yep. Okay. Later. All right.
Boom.
I can't even blame anybody because this is the floating show.
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, no, 100%.
Like, this is the most calls I've gotten during my podcast. All right, so.
But yeah, like I said, I feel like Johnny Gargano right now is doing it's almost an homage. I don't know if this has been the thought behind it in his head at all. But very, very reminiscent of Bret Hart. Like, it's very reminiscent of the turn of Bret Hart in the United States. Bret was never a heel in Canada, for any of our United States fans who are listening who may not know this. Bret Hart, while he was a heel for you guys in the States, we loved him.
Yeah.
He was still our man.
You still are boy.
Yeah, like we loved Bret Hart. We still love Bret Hart, even though Bret's a little bit cranky nowadays. I still love Bret Hart.
Execution.
Yeah,
Is the best.
It was the best there ever will be. Which, by the way, I just want to bring this up. You know, Rock Universe in St. Catharines. Yeah. Shout out to Rock Universe. Rock Universe in St. Catharines sells awesome wrestling shirts, like all the time, like old school. Okay. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin with the 2 rattlesnake arms up in the air shirts. Like the old school black with the white Austin 316 brick letters. Booker T shirts, Bret Hart, just the Hart Foundation logo shirts. Like stuff like that. Like real deep cuts old school shit that like our generation knows. Okay. And so I was going there the other day, or like, a few days ago. I think it was Friday after work. And I went there and I was waiting outside because they were on a break. I'm assuming a smoke break. And I'm
kind of smoke.
Right. And only tobacco. No, wait, that's not true anymore. Now they can talk about weed. When I was a kid, they couldn't mention weed in that store because it was illegal. And they didn't want to be known as a head shop and get shut down, which happened to many places. But they so I'm standing there in the window and I'm looking at this Bret Hart shirt. And it's official WWE license, like it says WWE.com on the inside tagless tag thing. It looks just it looks just like the WWE merch that they end up selling at like Walmarts and stuff. That's just about more recent stars usually. Well, I'm looking at this Bret Hart shirt. I'm like, there is something wrong about this shirt. Like there is something wrong about this. And I figured out what it was. They fucked up his catchphrase when they printed this shirt. So the catchphrase, obviously, say it with me, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. What it says on this shirt is, the best there is, the best there was, the best there will ever be. Small error, but I'll be goddamned if it didn't bug the shit out of me for that 10 minutes I was standing there waiting for those boys to get back.
It's ever will be, not will ever
be,
unless we've heard it wrong.
No. I refuse to believe that. This is not a Mandela effect fucking Bernstein Bears scenario.
Bernstein.
This is not what this is.
No, not the Bernstein Bears. That's my...
Okay. No, I'm saying, have you ever heard of the Mandela effect?
Oh, Mandela effect.
So the Mandela effect is there was a bunch of people who thought Mandela had already died when he died, right? Yeah. And it's bullshit. This is not a real effect, but this is what people... Right. But this is what people this is what people claim, right? Okay. Is that the fact that a bunch of people remembered or had a false memory of him dying earlier, meant that there's a cross in dimensional streams, and in one universe where he had already died, like he died for those people, but where he didn't die, he wasn't dead until he actually died, and that both were valid. So it's the other example people use for this, once again, bullshit theory, right, is that, do you remember the Bernstein Bears or the Berenstein Bears?
I remember Berenstein Bears.
Right. Well, some people remember it as the Berenstein Bears.
Fuck those people.
But it's two different realities crossing streams, bro. It's like Earth 1 and Earth 2.
That's because you say a word differently?
Yeah.
So that's tomato, another stream?
Yeah.
Am I about to get on my Booker T shit?
100%. 100%.
Here's the shucky ducky quack.
Yeah.
Here's the...
I'm telling you, it's nonsense. It's nonsense. But that is exactly what people think. So that's what that is what that fucking Like, it's just weird.
Here's the unlucky ducky quack quack of the day. You know what I mean? Like,
unlucky ducky quack quack.
Ducky quack quack of the day. First of all,
unlucky choo choo.
Like, you quack. How are you gonna say that because you say something different that opens a completely different universe?
Yeah,
what?
People just think that's just what it was in my universe. Well, no, it wasn't.
No, your universe is connected to my universe. Yeah. And my universe, the motherfucker's still alive. Well, not right now.
Yeah, motherfuckers just refuse to accept that they might have false memories.
Like, you can't accept that you're wrong or something. You know, let's get back into the show.
Yeah,
Bailey and Sasha Banks defeat Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
So yeah, we talked about. I alluded to this earlier. First of all, massive shout outs for this entire episode to my wrestling hero, Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
Triple H!
The Game. This man, the Cerebral Assassin. This man is the greatest talent in that company right now. Overall. He can do literally everything in that company right now.
Why is everybody talking candidly all of a sudden?
But so Sasha and Bailey came out. This is the SmackDown with nobody in the audience.
No audience.
But they came down and they started yelling about wanting Paige. And where's Paige? And blah, 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 blah. Which, by the way, if Paige gets to come out of retirement, ooh!
If Edge did.
Ooh! I'm a snap. I'm a freak out. I'll be so happy.
Vicious.
I know.
Did you watch the documentary? Oh, the movie?
The one that leaked, all those tapes? That's not a documentary. Those were not oh, you're not talking about the... Oh.
No.
Because, yes, I did watch those many times. Many times.
I meant wrestling, fighting my family.
Rest in peace to that goddamn NXT Women's title. Oh boy, nobody could ever touch that one again. That's disgusting.
Man. That was, wasn't it with her?
It was covered in Brad Maddox juice.
Brad Maddox and Alberto.
Yeah. Well, not in those videos. Alberto, thank God, was never in those videos. I don't know what I would have done if I would have had to see that Maricon's pero. But
my dude just said it in fluent fucking language.
But so they're calling her out, and while they're calling her out and yelling at Triple H and Michael Cole saying, "We know you know their number. Oh, should I just go get my cell phone?" All of a sudden, Triple H takes their side and starts going, "Yeah, Michael, why are you always making excuses for her?" And Michael Cole looked so betrayed. He looked like he had been stabbed multiple times in the back because that boy was like, "What the fuck? Like, did you just what? Whoa, that
Yeah, I just turned on the speakers over here.
That scared the shit out of me. Yeah, so that Triple H continued on that level, and all of you should go on YouTube and try to find like a compilation of Triple H killing it on SmackDown commentary, because there was a point where he took the camera and decided to be the cameraman for a segment that I had to send to Block because he was roasting Michael Cole so brutally. Like, he put Corey to shame with how poorly he was treating Michael.
Oh,
but Corey looks like Michael's like best friend and like caregiver at this point with how fucking Triple H treated him. Told him that like not everyone can be horrible at a job for 30 years and still have that job. So Bailey and them were calling out Paige. All of a sudden the future next fucking and women's tag team champions Alexa and Nikki came out to Alexa's music. And they challenged them to a sudden match. That match went down. It wasn't very good. Like, it was okay. But yeah, this was but this was not the to quote the Block's wife injure. Tell us how you really feel, Thili. We won't talk about that right now. But it was just very. It just very interesting. The best parts of it were absolutely the on mic parts. But yeah, this is going to lead to something, I think. But mostly, I think it's just going to be Kabuki Warriors versus Bliss and but Cross, because the reason they lost was distraction from a dancing Asuka. Asuka doing the fucking what's it called? The Charleston on the fucking ramp. Very strange.
All right. Roman Reigns spoke candidly. Speaking of candidly, Candid Conversations every Wednesday at 6 p.m. Follow David.Tyrell on Facebook. David Dablock Tyrell on Facebook. But Roman Reigns.
Cheap pop, bang bang.
You know what I mean? Candidly on Universal Champion Goldberg ahead of WrestleMania.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I skipped it. I didn't watch much of this. I watched the first couple questions, and I was horrendously bored with Roman and Michael's interview. If there's two people that I don't need to listen to a protracted conversation with, it's Michael Cole and Roman Reigns. I just they don't do much for me. And you know what makes it do even less for me? When the opponent they're talking about is Bill Goldberg.
Wow.
Again,
one of my favorite wrestlers.
Suck a dick, Bill.
Wow.
Yeah, he was he was one of my favorites too. In 1999, when he was killing it,
that was like
and not concussing Undertaker.
20 years ago.
When he was not concussing Mark Calloway.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good look.
Or concussing himself on the door of his locker room on the way out.
That was just a lunatic thing to do.
What a fool.
Either way.
You're a 50-fucking-3-year-old man. You've got tissue paper skin. Stop headbutting fucking doors.
Daniel Bryan defeated Cesaro.
It's a fireproof door, you asshole. It's thick.
Oh, you done?
Suck a dick, Bill.
Okay. Oh, man.
Not your bro. Okay, bro.
Not your bro. Yo, bro. I had to correct some people sometimes.
I'm going to get punched by Bill.
I had to correct somebody the other day. It's like, yo, they're calling me by a different name. I'm like, yo, if you're not calling me by my actual name and you're not calling me by my alias, don't call me, bro. Yeah. Like, don't do that. Don't recreate me so you have control over my mind. Nah.
I just love I love that video of the awkward confrontation between Bill Goldberg and Matt Riddle was it the Royal Rumble the one year? I think it was Royal Rumble last year, and Bill's telling him, you got to stop talking about me on social media, and I don't know you. We're not going to work together. Much like Brock did this year. Yeah. Poor Matt. And fucking Bill Goldberg, he goes, and Matt just, as Matt is one to do, took it very chill because my boy was stoned out of his tree.
Probably. And
he just goes, he's like, okay, bro, whatever you say, bro. And Goldberg's like, I'm not your bro. Don't call me bro. He's like, okay, bro. And he goes, yeah, bro. I'm not your bro. It's so uncomfortable. Goldberg doesn't even know how to have an uncomfortable confrontation with someone anymore because he says, don't call me bro, and then calls him bro as if Matt's not going to call you bro back again. Like, what are you doing, Goldberg? That's not how you shut a man up from calling you bro.
You know what that is? That's simply... Hold on, I got to turn this on. That right there is just simply... glorious. Indeed.
Goldberg, I think you're great in Universal Soldier 2 with Jean-Claude Van Damme. Not.
You know what? He was in what's it called the other day? NCIS.
Oh God, was he really?
Yeah, he was. Okay, so Daniel Bryan defeated Cesaro.
Stone Cold Steve Austin was on Nash Bridges like 4 times.
Yeah. This was like his 3rd or 4th time on there.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, man. Then we got Jeff Hardy defeating King Corbin.
Love it. Corbin did some real good heel work backstage. Asked Jeff Hardy what he was gonna said. So what are you gonna do for your big return? Oh, I know. You're gonna walk in a straight line. Oh, no. And then goes, oh no! I got it. You're gonna close your eyes and you're gonna put your hand out and you're gonna touch your nose. And he goes, no! I got it.
Oh man!
You're going to recite the alphabet backwards.
Oh my gosh.
Whoo! Rough times to be one Jeffrey Hardy. You're gonna take those DUI bumps, my friend.
Yep,
You had enough of them on your time off.
Yep.
You had more DUIs than both the Usos combined in your time off.
Damn. That's just savage.
It's true though.
Hey, Hey, truth can be savage.
It is facts.
And then closing off the show, we have Bray Wyatt preyed on John Cena.
Yeah, this was a great segment. This was one of the best segments of the year. Like non-wrestling segments, like just talking stuff. I think this might be the best of the year so far. Yeah, Cena came out to have a interview with Michael Cole, which, once again, normally would just do nothing for me. But what he said was very interesting, because Michael Cole asked him how he felt about being blamed by Bray Wyatt for the downfall, the spiral that Bray went into after their WrestleMania match, big air quotes on match there, 6 years ago, where, as anybody who was following at the time remembers,
It's been that long?
was a burial of epic proportions. Like, made Triple H and the Golden Shovel of the mid-2000s look like child's play. He really just destroyed the entire Wyatt family that day.
Cena?
Yeah, much like The Rock did. Like, The Rock really destroyed the entire Wyatt family. But through destroying Bray the way that he did at WrestleMania that year, it was a real harsh turn downwards for the Wyatt gimmick at that point. But Cena's response was very intelligent, which was, he's like, that you're not the first person who said that, Bray. Like, Bray is not the first person to blame me for their failures. It's true. Very true.
Roman.
Regardless of whether they're correct or not.
Daniel, Seth.
Beyond them, there's like people who are no longer with the company who regularly will talk about the Cena burial that they got, kind of thing. The burial at Cena, if you will.
Burial at Cena. Oh damn, that sounds so harsh. It's gotta stick.
Jesus Christ, that just came off the dome.
Yo,
that is.
You should put it up. You should tweet it and be like, "Who suffered from the burial at Cena?"
Yeah, exactly. Who suffered most from their burial at Cena?
Oh man.
He, and a lot of them are correct. A lot of them are incorrect. But what Cena brought up that changed my perspective a little bit is, how come you never hear that about John? Like, how come you never hear that Cena is been buried by anything? And he brought up another good point where he's like, "Oh, I know what everyone's gonna say. You're gonna say, well, you're John Cena. You're the golden boy. You'll always bounce back and stuff." But Willie, if he doesn't do that work, like if he doesn't work as hard as John Cena does, which we all know John Cena works really fucking hard because he's always in something. Yep. Like 2 months doesn't go by where you don't hear, and the new John Cena vehicle, Daddy's Home fucking 8 or whatever the fuck, right? Whether all of his movies are great or blockbusters or anything, guess what? Neither were The Rock's at first. Everyone likes to forget about The Scorpion King and The Mummy 2, The Scorpion King movies.
What was it? Walking Tall was a damn good movie.
That was a damn good movie. That's when he started doing dope movies.
Yeah.
The original of that movie is very good too, by the way. Yeah. Definitely check that out. But he, whether he's doing the best movies or not, the man is always working. The man is always working. And he's always very positive.
Kind of like us.
Yeah. You never see John really going super negative on stuff. Like, he rolls with the fucking punches. And that is something that nobody can really take away from him. And he brought up the fact, he's like, I've suffered monumental losses. The Rock at WrestleMania. CM Punk in Chicago. Watch CM Punk walk away with that title. Two years ago, he had to buy his ticket to WrestleMania to get squashed by The Undertaker in 5 minutes. Yep. All these big losses that are like small. AJ Styles, 4 fucking pay-per-views in a row he lost to AJ Styles.
Yep.
To AJ, who was still like new into that company and was an outsider that would normally get buried in those scenarios.
Yep.
Destroyed John Cena 4 months straight, to the point where their catchphrase became "Beat up John Cena."
Yep. What are we here to do?
And what did John Cena do with all that?
Got beat up.
He took those ass whoopings and he came right back. And that's a damn good point. So when he brings that up, I'm like, you know what? Fuck yeah, Cena.
You know
You're
what I mean?
right. You're right.
Coming
And then
out
all of a
to-
sudden I heard, and I'm like, oh, fuck you, Cena. You wrong. You wrong. Bray's here now. And then Bray popped out from the crowd.
Oh, man.
And by the crowd, I mean the emptiness.
Nah.
Crawled over a couple chairs and then rolled over the thing. Came in full Firefly Funhouse Bray attire. Yeah. And then he starts talking to Cena, and the way he talked to Cena was terrifying and dark. And like, I've been watching you, and you know, after our match, like I couldn't help it. And the voices, they just started. I couldn't get them to stop. He's like legit fidgeting and like kind of spazzing a bit when he's talking about this, and now like he couldn't get the voices to stop. And then one day, I figured it out. I started listening to the voices, John. And he's like, and the Fiend saved me. And he can do the same for you, John. Let me in. Let me in. And then, end of episode, just went completely black.
Oh, shit.
It was beautiful.
That sounds like some eerie stuff.
I'm telling you, it was creepy as shit. And it was so well done. And that's when he comes up to John. That was the last thing he said, sorry. He said to John, he goes, John, because John had said that their WrestleMania match, he's like, this is not going to be a WrestleMania match. This is going to be brutal. This is going to be vicious. And this is going to be uncomfortable to watch. Which was nice to hear out of Cena. Something that real, like that, like, we're going to make something fucked up for you kind of thing. And then while he's saying that, to contrast what he said with that, Bray said, so our match is going to be a slaughter. You just don't know it yet. It's like, oh,
Okay.
boy. Oh, boy. I think he's going to squash John Cena at WrestleMania when that happens.
I don't know, man. Like I said, when it comes to WWE, you never really know what you're going to get. You could give it, like, unless you do the WWE math, and even sometimes then the equations change.
Oh, yeah, well, that's clutch for WWE math, is that it's never really necessarily definitive.
Yep.
But yeah, that was SmackDown, and let me just say, in this early part of the year still, you know, first quarter still, that's the best SmackDown of this year.
Right.
That is the best SmackDown of this year so far, and if we keep getting these empty PC shows, I'm here for it.
They'll probably be able to put more creativity into the shows because they're worried less about the people hijacking it.
Yep. Exactly.
All right.
And I think it's a very interesting move, and I think that it's going to be very interesting when we get the very first show back in front of a live audience.
Can we wrap this up in 30 seconds?
Yep, that's all I had to say was, yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I was just going to say, can we wrap this up in 30 seconds so we can get it at an hour and a half?
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're at 1:29:21. We did have a few more bits of information to tell you, but
Yeah.
tune in next week where we'll have more of the story. UFC, Ring of Honor, AEW,
Yeah.
NJPW, you know what I mean? We'll include that.
We'll get there.
We'll get there, but like right now, we're going with what's hot, and that's WWE,
Hot.
NXT, SmackDown,
Hot.
Raw.
Hot.
You know what I mean? It's what's up. So
Yeah. It's all Raquel Gonzalez hot.
thank you for tuning in, and wherever it is and wherever you be, tune in to us for the 1, 2, 3.
Ding, ding, ding.